Today I'm going to be painting a housewarming card. However, this card I've got here, which is just plain card, is exactly the same size as my Encaustic card. So I'm going to need to cut my Encaustic card down slightly. And because I've not got very many of these cards left, I'm actually going to be taking some A4 card and cutting up into smaller cards and maybe making several of these. First of all, I am putting down some green and brown with the iron to make a path leading up to the house, and this I can quickly do with a few strokes of the iron. Next, I take the stylus, and I'm just going to be sketching with the stylus and brown wax just to get a rough shape of the house down on the paper. And so I started off not really with much of a plan, apart from the fact I wanted a house with a path leading up to it. And so I didn't quite get the shape of the house right to start with, so I then painted a tree to cover up any mistakes. I think the tree looked really nice, and at this point I did stop and have a look at some reference just to keep me right. And I then added a letterbox in the foreground and some birds flying off in the distance. With silver wax I wrote the word home on the letterbox and just tidied up some of the detail. This was actually a really fun process, just going loosely in with the wax and sketching as I went, and I found that it was great fun just adding details where I felt like them, not being super accurate with the representation, but just keeping it loose and having a lot of fun, particularly with all these flowers that I added. None of them are particularly accurate. Some of them might be poppies. None of them look exactly like real flowers, but it doesn't matter because you've got the sense of this being a riotously beautiful garden. I then went in with some darker wax to add some final touches to the house, just some window sills and the lintel over the door, and I did extend the house slightly and added some more windows based on a few photos that I'd looked at. I was also adding some white highlights. This painting was one of the most fun encaustic paintings I've done in a very long time. It was so fluid and just kept evolving as I added more and more wax. In fact, there was so much wax on this card by the end of it, I was scraping through it whilst I was adding it, so I had to be quite gentle with some of the brush strokes? Stylus strokes, I suppose. So I didn't scrape off the wax whilst I was applying it. I could have gone in and scraped some away before I applied another colour. In fact, I did do this on subsequent paintings, but I just enjoyed the looseness of this whole piece. Here we have our finished picture. I did a couple of sketches on the backing paper as I was going to get the shape of the house just right. Now all I need to do is polish up the surface because it's quite raised, just to make it shine, and then we're going to attach it to the card. Because it's got quite a lot of texture, I'm going to use PVA to attach it. And of course the final thing that needed to be done was just to flatten the card for a very long time so that it is nice and stuck to the card. Thank you very much for watching.